Hey everybody, what's up? Mike here, and welcome to my video today. My first video of 2017, my Nintendo Switch its presentation review. Now before I get started, guys, I must say I'm sorry that this is my first video of 2017. I do apologize, guys. I was busy, and I also apologize that I did not get this out over the weekend. It's just I was busy in the midst of stuff, and well, the presentation I didn't realize was going to be done, at 11 have been, at night, and I just thought, well, I'll just wait until Friday to start doing it. And then I found out the Nintendo Treehouse group was doing their own demonstrations, and I thought, well, I'll just wait over the weekend to do it and look at all those videos, but I didn't realize that the majority of the information was going to come from this special presentation they did on Thursday at 11 at night. So I do apologize, guys, I didn't get this out sooner, but this gave me more time to do research and stuff, so that is what I'm going to do. Now, I'm not going to play the entire video. This is where I thought I was going to, just play a little bit of the video and have that in the background while I talk about the Switch presentation review, or at least my opinion on it and stuff. And I didn't know what to use. I didn't want to use a game as my background. I thought I'll use part of the presentation as my background for the for my opinion on the presentation. So anyway, it was a long one, and a little over an hour long, definitely more than I thought it would be. But I mean, it was an interesting presentation. I think it was a good presentation, at least. Probably not one of the best we've seen, but I think it's one of the good ones that we've seen by Nintendo here as late. So I think, I mean, in terms of presentations, I think this was at least a good one that we've seen by Nintendo last week. I don't know how it ranks up, though, guys. I'm sorry, I don't know how it ranks up, but it's probably one of the best ones we had from them for a while. But anyway, the Nintendo Switch originally thought to be the Nintendo NX. I know a lot of people, well, I don't know how many people bring that up, but I still do, because I thought we were going to get the NX. Here we're getting the Switch. But it don't matter. It's a better name than the NX, actually. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's coming out March the 3rd, as many of you people probably know, of this year. It's coming out, and it's actually an interesting console and stuff, and I think it's actually one of the more interesting projects Nintendo's working on here for a while. But anyway, I mean, I honestly didn't know what I was gonna get from this, guys, when I watched this, because I had some mixed ideas and stuff from some of my earlier videos, like the one I think I did back in November or December. I think it was November I did on what I thought of the Nintendo NX, which was really announced to be the Nintendo Switch. I had a few questions and, a few ideas, guys, and I was really torn between how, this was going to be, because I really didn't know if this was a console I would be interested in versus, what most gamers are. Because I will admit, there are people out there who do more gaming than I do, and they probably have a better idea of how the Nintendo Switch is compared to someone like me, because I don't really know. I mean, I really don't know in terms of, is the Nintendo Switch really a good console or not? And I don't know, honestly, in terms if I would want to buy it or not, but I'll get into that a little bit later. But I mean, I think, it's a great presentation for it, and I think it's answering a lot of our questions about the future. So where do I want to start? Oh yes, the Nintendo Switch originally announced that they were going to have some games coming over to it when it becomes released to the gaming community, to the public, and a lot of people are wondering, will we be getting, like Mario Kart 8, will we get it backwards compatible? Will we have to buy, a new version of it for the Nintendo Switch, even though it's the exact same version? Same way with Splatoon. Were they going to have to buy that same version over again just to use for the system? Well, I'm happy for watching this presentation to find out they are actually doing a little something different, which kind of makes me happy in a sense. It's sad that you won't get those same games over to Nintendo Switch, but it's a little different. I think it's good. What I found out is, and a lot of you probably know already what it is, but this is just my honest review opinion on this. But I think it's great that they are actually for Mario Kart 8 not only sending the same game over to Nintendo Switch, but they're actually updating it. They're actually adding more characters, more DLC, adding more courses, and I think that's wonderful. They're going to call it the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I think that's great that they're not actually porting the same game from the Wii U over to the Nintendo Switch, charging the same price that you had to pay when you wanted it for the Mario Kart 8, and getting the same thing as you would for the Wii U version, but instead just be a version for the Nintendo Switch. Well, I'm actually happy that they are actually updating it a little bit, adding more characters, DLC, all that. So I am happy about that. Unfortunately, they're not porting the same game over, but they're actually they kind of are, but they're actually updating it. They're adding more stuff to it, and I think it's going to be worth the money a little bit that you're going to pay for it, because it's not like you're getting ripped off and paying the same amount of money for this game that you already own for the Wii U and buying it for the Nintendo Switch and it being the same exact game. No, they actually have it more updated, more characters, more DLC, more courses, and I think that's wonderful. I don't know though what the price is going to be. I'm imagining it's going to be about the same price or a little more than it was when you bought the Mario Kart 8 one, but I mean, either way, I think it's good actually that it's adding some stuff, making more courses, DLC, and all that. It's just, I think if it's almost about 80%, if not 70% of the original game from the Wii U, why not charge a little less? Like, why not make it that if you got 8, you can get the deluxe version for your Nintendo Switch version for a discount price, or let you trade in your Wii U version for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe version, and have all that data somehow transferred from Wii U over to the Switch and get it for a discount price. None of that I think will happen, but I'm just saying that'd be a nice thing. But I mean, I think, that's better. Sorry about that, guys. I think that's better than actually having the same game ported right over to the Switch, which that was the same as the Wii U version. Now, Splatoon, like I said, I didn't know much. I should say I didn't know much about that game being ported over, but I did find that out, and I thought, are people going to have to buy it? Actually, no. The best part about that is when I saw that and Splatoon was named, they actually, and like I said, most of you guys probably already know half of this stuff, but in case if you don't, they are making a sequel to Splatoon called Splatoon 2. I don't know much about it. I should have paid a little more attention to the presentation, but like I said, over an hour, I just didn't feel like sitting there and watching it all. But yes, I am happy that they are actually not making the same games, pointing them over to the Nintendo Switch and making you double pay for the same game just for a different console. I am very happy about that. So that is good that they are actually making a sequel after making the original Splatoon for the Wii U version. So I think that is wonderful. Right now, I don't know of any games that are going to be ported over to Nintendo Switch that are exactly the same from its Wii U version. It's just, the difference in the console and stuff. So I'm happy about that right now. That is great that they're not doing that, because that was some of my concern. That was one reason actually why I was thinking not to buy the the Nintendo Switch. But I'm glad that's not one of my biggest things to have to worry about. Now, I am happy to say though that a lot of groups, if people watch this presentation, which I'm sure a lot of you watching this probably did, a lot of groups that are involved in making games for this next gen console include like EA Sports, and oh my gosh, there was a lot of them, guys. I can't even remember them all. There were so many, but EA Sports was one of the big names I saw there, and I was excited because, they make a lot of sports games, and a lot of you may not know this, but I love their NHL series, and I'm thinking maybe with EA there, maybe they'll do, NHL hockey series for the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but, it opens up the possibilities. But I think, and I can't remember what it was now, I think it was some kind of basketball game. I can't quite remember. I do apologize, guys. I can't quite remember, but I think it was a NBA series game or something that they're going to make for the console, which is great because EA, I don't know how many games they actually made for any Nintendo games, but now they're finally considering doing that. So I think that's great that EA is actually joining in on the action with the new gen Nintendo system. So I think that's great. And now, one more game I'd like to talk about before I move on, guys, is I am absolutely crazy about the new Mario game that they're coming out with, Mario Odyssey. It looks cool. I've seen a couple of stuff. I gotta be honest with you. I look at some of those scenes, guys. It looks like Manhattan. It looks like New York. It looks like, it looks like classical sites. Some of that stuff in that game kind of looks like classical sites you see in the world. And it's kind of interesting because it adds a new twist to the Mario world, to the Mario series, by having what looks like legitimate locations in real life added to the game. And it looks so cool how they did it, and it looks like so much new stuff Mario can do that he couldn't do before in some of his previous games. So I think it's definitely going to be an awesome game. I can't wait to see it. I don't know if that would make me want to buy the Nintendo Switch, but I definitely think it's a contender to make anyone want to buy it because Mario is such a hit, and I think that game might be an interesting game. As of right now, it looks like there's 35 games that are going to be released right now for the Nintendo Switch. Not at launch date, though, but, in the near future. And I think that's great that they already have 35 games from publishers out there that are interested in making it for the Nintendo Switch system. So I think that's great. Hey, in terms of, trying to get the Nintendo Switch off to a good start, making games for it from big publishers. So I think that's great. And I know they already have a few good games already there, game titles in there that are going to definitely make some interesting splashes on the Nintendo Switch. Now, some of the other things, guys, I questioned back in November when I did my first review when they released that it was not the, when it was not the NX, but the Switch. The battery thing was one of the other questions I had. I'm actually interested a little bit more in it, but now we finally got answers on it. Depending on the game, you can get 2.5 hours out of that thing, up all the way to 6 hours after you charge the gamepad, I think it was. I'm not quite sure. But yes, you can get like 2.5 hours up to the max of 6 hours of gameplay after you charge the gamepad or something and take it on the go. And of course, again, depending, like they said, on the game, depends on how long the battery life on the system will last. Now, I think that's great that it can actually last up to 6 hours. That's pretty good. 2.5 hours, that's still pretty good. My concern, though, is, guys, and this is probably one of these concerns that really don't matter. But what happens, like, will it be like the Wii U, where you charge it, and then eventually the battery life becomes less, acceptable to it? Because I know right now when you charge the Wii U, at first you get, a long charge, but then after a while you keep charging, and it seems like the charging takes the same amount of time, but the battery life drains, that it doesn't hold up the same amount of charge as it first did when you first. So my question is, in terms of, like the battery and stuff, is will it stay, will it stay no matter how much you charge it? Will it stay up to close to the 6 hours, or at least the 2 hours and a half, no matter how many times you're charging it? Because that's, some of my concern. But again, this could be like a minor concern, if not no concern at all, because, I mean, I'm the only one who thinks it, but it does become a little concerning. It's like the Wii U, where you keep charging and it don't hold that charge like it used to at the beginning. So that is somewhat still my concern, but maybe it's not a real concern at all, so I don't know. But anyway, I mean, yeah, that's just something I like to at least think about when it comes to this new system. But anyway, what else do I want to talk? Oh, the joysticks. I love the joysticks, guys. The design looks interesting. It wouldn't be my first choice, but I gotta tell you, seeing some of the demos, seeing them play, the joysticks are actually interesting. And it's kind of cool that they were able to take all the stuff they did for the years with their old systems and incorporate it and add some more stuff within the design and controllers of the Nintendo Switch. So I think that is just, so cool. In fact, some of the games like the Switch 1, 2, and all that other stuff they were doing kind of reminds me of the joysticks that they introduced, or the nunchucks, excuse me, the Wii nunchucks, when they introduced them back when the Wii first came out, where, motion control and everything. So I think that's kind of cool that it's kind of like it's bringing it back now in this new, gaming system, that lets you, move around stuff and get your exercise. So maybe they'll bring back bowling, who knows? But yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like they brought back the nunchuck ability, like, in a sense, with the Nintendo Switch. It's not exactly like the nunchucks, but I'll tell you what, it's a pretty interesting controlling thing for the Nintendo Switch. And it's kind of nice that you're able to, take it anywhere you want to after charging it, and they give you a little portable charger to when you're on the go to charge it and stuff. That's pretty cool, and you can just plug it plug it into any HD TV, which is pretty nice. I mean, everything looks pretty nice, design-wise and controller-wise. Everything kind of looks cool. I mean, the controllers are a little small, but again, they look fun and everything. So I mean, that probably won't be a problem at all. In terms of price, that's pretty good. I mean, like they said, Nintendo's been, known for having good quality gaming systems, but yet having them at a good price that they wouldn't have to charge a lot if they incorporate high, tech and high specs and everything in their games. So in terms of that, $299 is not bad. But this is one of the reasons why I wouldn't want to buy a Nintendo Switch right away, is because, you paid kind of like that, if not a little less, for the Wii U, and it just feels like you're wasting that on the new console when you bought the Wii U and you thought it was going to be a big thing, because I thought the Wii U was going to be a big thing, but apparently to a lot of people it looks like the Wii U isn't as big as they thought it was going to be. So that's why the Nintendo Switch is coming out when it is, because it's going to try to replace the failure of the Nintendo Switch, which, I mean, I don't think it's really a failure of the Wii U, but I think, in terms of it being as big, I don't think it was as big as they wanted to, and that's probably why they're going to Nintendo Switch. But I mean, that's one reason why I wouldn't. I'm not necessarily saying that I wouldn't want to eventually go to Nintendo Switch, but I mean, it's just one of those things right now where you spend that kind of money for the Wii U, and then Nintendo's like abandoning it and going to the Switch right away. Just it just throws you, kind of throws you around a little bit. But I mean, it's not, it's not anything big in terms of, anything petty or anything. It's just, one of those things where you don't feel like spending that kind of money on a new system when you bought that a few years ago, and then they're dumping it for what seems to be a better system right now. But anyway, not really anything bad. Online services, though, this hopefully I won't get into this too long here. But the online services right now, a lot of people have been saying about this. It's free at launch, but once a certain time comes, then they're going to start charging to use online services and stuff. Like, I think it's free from March to whenever in the fall that they're going to switch to whatever you have to pay to use online services. Now, no one knows, again, I should say no one knows right now what the price will be, but I imagine it's going to be up there to use online features. Now, my opinion on this whole thing is they're kind of doing what other game companies are doing, like the Xbox and PlayStation stuff, where they charge to use online services. The only thing I kind of disagree with is Nintendo should go with like what Xbox did, where they have, the Xbox Live Gold membership, and they have the, Xbox Live Free Edition. I mean, it's a little bit different because it doesn't have to do quite with online services, but with the free membership of Xbox Live and the gold membership Xbox Live, one thing they always had in common is you were able to do online features just regardless if you paid for it or if you used their free membership. It's just with gold you got a lot more discounts and everything. But anyway, I mean, I think that's what Nintendo ought to do. Instead of charging to use the online features like battle and everything, they should allow you to just play online for free with a free membership. And then if you want additional features like chat with friends, add friends and everything, then charge for it. I mean, I understand why they did it, because someone mentioned something about they need to cover the cost of online servers and everything, which does make sense, but I mean, I think they could have done what Xbox did with their Xbox Live Gold and Xbox Live Free membership, is have it at least free, but if you want additional features you have to pay for it. And I think that's what they could have done. Nintendo could have had like a service that offered at least free online battles, but then if you wanted, let's say, to chat with friends, or you wanted to battle overseas with someone, all that stuff, then charge for it. I think jumping right into it and charging people to use online features that now, if they want to play online or battle anyone online, they have to pay for it. I think that was kind of a little jump for Nintendo there, but I mean, I understand what they're doing. It's, I can understand Nintendo, and I can understand the people who use online features, how it's, how it's somewhat of an interesting, change. But again, there's so much they could have done with this, and yet at the same time, there's so much that they had to do now because they had to make up for the cost of their online service and stuff, which makes sense. It's just now people have to pay now to battle people online or battle people from around the world, which I think if they wanted to battle people online, they could have made like a free service and just have that. But then if people wanted to chat or battle people overseas, then they could have charge. So again, I mean, I think it's so up there in the air, but I understand what Nintendo's doing. So it's a catch-21, but hopefully before it launches, hopefully we'll get more information, and maybe Nintendo will come out and say we are offering a free service membership of it, that you can at least go online and battle friends, but other than that, you have to pay for any additional features. Hopefully that's what they'll do. I'm not sure if they will, but hopefully, they will do that. And it's cool though, and I forgot to mention this in the specs, that now you can battle up to eight friends locally now, which is kind of cool that you can battle up to 8 different friends on 8 different systems now with the Nintendo Switch. So that's kind of nice. It's kind of like building on the Super Smash Brothers feature of an 8-player Smash. So that's kind of cool. Now, one thing else I like to mention before I wrap up this video is that it is awesome, guys, that they have now changed something. I don't know really what other people's opinion of it is, but I think it's cool now that they're going to take away the region lock for the Nintendo Switch, which means, for those who don't know, means that now you can play version of the game, whether it's in English, Japanese, or any of that. Now you can play it on your American system, your Japanese system. It doesn't matter. Any version of the same game, as long as it's a game for that system, which is kind of actually cool. I mean, I don't know how much of an impact it will have, but it's kind of cool now that if you can't find the English or Japanese version of the game, you can go to another version of the game, and it doesn't matter because it will play on your American or Japanese or whatever version of the system you have. It will play on that. So that is kind of cool that they took out region lock. It will be interesting that they did this. I can't wait to see how it turns out now that they removed this, but I think that's kind of pretty cool. So, in terms of the Nintendo Switch, I think the presentation was great. Well, I wouldn't say great. I would say it was good. I don't know how it ranks up there with other Nintendo product presentations, but I think it was great. I mean, good. And I think they definitely deliver some kind of message that might get people interested in the Nintendo Switch. And of course, one nice stunt that they pulled, and I just want to warn people, if you haven't seen it, you may want to stop the video right here and somehow get to the end of this video because I'm about to release a spoiler that some people may not know. I don't know, but if they don't, it was kind of nice for them to incorporate the Legend of Zelda, pardon me if I get this title wrong, Breath of the Wind or something. They incorporated that title to be released on the same day as the console's release, and that is pretty cool because they know people were excited about it. They decided we got to release that for the Nintendo Switch's release date, and they did, and that's pretty awesome that they did. And I think that's gonna hype up the expectations and interest in the game in the game system now that they're going to release it on the same day as the console is being released. So that is kind of cool that they decided to pull this, to decide, to draw up, more interest in it, that they decide to make this big game that we've been waiting for already for maybe like over a year now, to have it be released for the new system on the same day as the system is released. So that's pretty cool. So I think Nintendo is going in the right direction as a console. I think the Nintendo Switch is actually more interesting, and I'm actually thinking about being more likely to buy it now, but I don't know. But like I said, I don't know how much I'll buy it because I bought the Wii U, so I don't feel like switching from the oldest gimmick to the newest gimmick to draw in money for Nintendo. But I don't know. But I think Nintendo Switch is worth some interest, and is worth buying if you're interested in one of Nintendo's latest products. I think it's interesting, and I think it's worth a try because I think it's awesome. Actually, I think it looks awesome. I don't know how it will work once it's released, but I think they definitely with this presentation answered some of our questions, and I think they're drawing more hype for the game and the game system. So I think it's actually pretty cool, and I can't wait to see how they do it in the future once the console's released. So hopefully it'll go well. I think the console actually is getting a little more good reviews since this presentation came out, but like I said, I'm not quite sure, but I think it is somewhat of an interest now that they're coming out with this, and hopefully it'll be as a good hit as they want it to be. So anyway, that's my review on this. Hopefully, I do apologize, guys, it was long. I was hoping not to make it long, but so much to talk about, and I actually got into it because I thought the Nintendo Switch actually came out with some good features and announcements in this presentation. So I think it was good, and I actually could not wait to review it. That I actually talked longer than I expected. But don't worry, this video will not be as long as the presentation. Long presentation, but good content that was in the presentation. But anyway, guys, I do apologize again for this being long, but there was so much I wanted to cover, so much enjoyment for the game, so much hype for it. I'm actually looking forward to how it goes, and depending how well it goes, I may even buy it. I don't know, but Nintendo's definitely revving up the interest in this gaming system. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and guys, please consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribing. Whatever you guys would do would be greatly appreciated. And I thank you guys so much for watching this and subscribing to my video. If you're a subscriber, I thank you so much for watching it. You guys are awesome. And I will see you guys in the next video later this year. So until then, guys, see ya.